The fires of big steel built Pittsburgh, but it was the waters surrounding the city that kept the furnaces stoked. The three rivers were the original highways here and are still moving 41 million tons of cargo through Pittsburgh today, thanks to a major man-made upgrade. So this is it. This is where the three rivers meet: the Allegheny, the Monongahela, and down here, the Ohio River. It's the convergence of these three rivers that gives the port of Pittsburgh access to 9,000 miles of inland waterways. That makes Pittsburgh the second largest inland shipping port in the U.S. Over 300 miles of waterways snaking into the city aren't really wild rivers. For almost 100 years, they've been carefully controlled by 23 lock and dam systems. I'm heading to one of the oldest, the Braddock Locks on the Monongahela River, to see what it takes to push over 80,000 barges through the port of Pittsburgh every year. Lockmaster Charlie Waite is going to guide me through the dirty, dangerous business of keeping this lock up and running. The whole point is to keep this river navigable, yeah?
Yes. Without the locks and dams, in the dry drought season, there wouldn't be enough water in the river for them to navigate.
Coal shipments that came up this river from West Virginia were absolutely essential to keeping the steel mills fired up. In 1901, the Army Corps of Engineers began controlling the water level. And thanks to Charlie's maintenance team, it's still working 100 years later. The system seems simple, but has some very big moving parts. During the dry summer season, water is released from a reservoir system at the head of the river. 9 dams along the 128-mile course carefully control the level, and gargantuan chambers called locks get the boats through this obstacle course. So right now, there's a boat outside the gate up there. In order for that boat to come through here, they have to fill this lock up to the very water level that's outside that gate. The water flows in and out of the chamber through 2 tunnels in the walls. Today, Charlie and his crew are doing maintenance on one of them.
Well, they were actually repairing one of our emptying valves here, and they've already taken out the old valve. They have a new valve in here.
The valve he's talking about controls the flow of the water, just like any household plumbing. But this gadget weighs almost 8 tons.
All right, we're going down. Yeah, it's a little jumpy.
All righty. Normally, we'd be descending into 20 feet of fast-moving river water. But today, the work site's been sealed off with bulkheads and pumped dry. So how deep are we at this point?
We're about 20 feet down under.
So this is the valve underneath of us?
This is the valve underneath us. This is what lets the water in or out. It pivots off of a center axis on left or right of the wall.
So this whole thing comes down and seals against this edge here.
That edge and both sides here.
So this is a bulkhead that's...
This is one of the bulkheads that they set to be able to come in and do this work, but still keep the lock operational.
All this water that's behind here is what normally would be flowing right through this channel. This is all being blocked off today by a bulkhead they've inserted right into a slot here so they can do the work back here on the valve. The entire Monongahela River is behind this bulkhead. When the work is finished, this valve will control the flow of water out of the chamber, and an identical setup brings the water in. The whole system is protected by a series of steel bar grates that keeps river debris from jamming up the works. And replacing those grates is a little more involved than putting a new filter in your fish tank.
We're going to be working, diving today, doing some underwater burning to repair some steel bars that are deteriorating. If these bars aren't in good shape, the debris can get in and damage the equipment.
Over 5,000 boats pass through here every year, so shutting it down to do repairs is out of the question. Diver Dane Somerville has worked in other tough spots like post-Katrina New Orleans, and today he's going to be handling a cutting torch that can slice through steel like warm butter. He'll be doing it in 20 feet of cold, murky water. It's a dangerous job that calls for some heavy-duty gear, coveralls over his wetsuit to protect him from molten metal, a helmet with a welding visor, and a topside support team to monitor all his oxygen and communications. And he also gets an assistant with 0 experience. So he's basically down there with a high-temperature torch, almost 10,000 degrees, literally cutting the metal and then pulling these bars out. I'm going to get down there and give him a hand and see what I can do with it. I've logged plenty of hours diving, and it's usually like stepping into another, more peaceful world. I have a feeling this will be a little bit different.
Okay. Sorry. Okay, here we go.
So they're getting ready to burn here in a moment. We will tell you before he starts to burn.
Thanks. I mean, I don't know how this guy is doing this work, quite honestly, in such condition. I mean, I'm standing maybe 2 feet away from this man and I can't see him. You can see right here, or can you? The bar's in front of me.
Ready to burn, making it hot.
Go for it. And you can see the light up there in the cloudy water. This torch is just literally burning a flow of oxygen underwater. You can actually feel the heat from it. Wow, look at that light. Unbelievable. It's very, very scary being right close to it, but otherwise I can't even see what's going on.
Every bar he cuts has razor-sharp edges and has to be removed by hand.
We're now pulling them out one by one. Does he have to bring these up, Charlie?
Negative. We're going to lay them on the bottom down there, but again, be aware where he has cut them, that metal could be very sharp.
Here we go. Okay, there we go. Wow, these are heavy. Yeah. They really come down.
Handling these things with diving gloves is like trying to control a 10-pound scalpel while wearing mittens.
You gotta really give it a... Yeah. Oh, sorry about that. You okay?
The camera's not broken. No one's been burned, cut, or drowned. I think I'll quit while I'm ahead.
I mean, seriously, I come up here, it's all calm and nice. Down there, you're like, what is going on? And
What was your expectation? Did we meet them?
yes, you did.
This is a typical day at the office for Charlie and his crew. It's the tough, dirty work it takes to keep the river traffic moving and Pittsburgh running smoothly. But some of the city's past glories are crumbling,
Some kind of old foundation.
and were almost forgotten
Oh, jeez, there's a whole tunnel down here.
until now.